I'm saying, that's crazy. That's my.
So they broke a sprint on that.
As you should, yeah.
How are you?
That way we know for. It's not.
Video work. Yeah, that was like an incoming. It's nice to see everybody. Let's stand, if you would, for action followed by our pledge of allegiance. Well, his birth was a signal of hope. His life was a reflection of God. His heart, an expression of love. May you feel the depth of his love in every part of your day. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'm sure you all will join me in condolences for our fellow council member, Kathy. Quite a village person. Okay. Let's start with our community comments. Looks like we have a few. Abigail, where are you?
Well, hello. I got some village library updates for you. I'm excited to say that next Monday we will be fully staffed with our new children's librarian coming on board. Knock on wood, just in case. Let's see. We have programming updates. We are starting a weekly Monday evenings Dungeons and Dragons program for adults. And then on Monday and Wednesdays, March and April, we will have Sail for adults, which is a staying active and independent for life exercise series. And then additionally, March 5th, we will be a polling location opening at 7 a.m. That's what I got. Yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't know you wanted me to speak about that too. So, this will be for April. Yeah. Well, I can't take credit. My librarian did it. So, one of my librarians had a really great idea about using the new space that's been created down there. And so, it'll be a poetry walk. Utilizing that space. So right now she's looking for some poetry that is free to use that we won't get in trouble for. And it'll be down there. So then once you go and view it, there'll be kind of like a QR code of some sort where you can come to the library and claim a prize. Yeah. So encouraging walking and reading in the library. Yeah.
You know what the original vision was for that walk right there?
Was it?
It was some sort of art walk or something to get people engaged. So the fact that you guys did that organically without, was that prompted?
That's awesome.
Very good. I love it.
Thank you.
Guys. Now those signs need the regulation size. You know, I can say that.
You're only a sign guy for one more month. Can we get sponsorships?
I'll help on that.
Kara, would you like to share that?
Sure. Sorry. Go for it.
Hi, I'm Kara Tam Waltz, and I am running for.
One second.
Good. Go for it.
Okay, thank you. I am running for Ward 5 as a city council candidate. I lived in the village this time for about 3.5 years. I grew up here with my parents and absolutely love the village. And since I've been here, I've done several community outreach programs helping
seniors not get nuisance violations by having people do work around their home, yards, etc. I put on the chili cook-off and working with Kathy did the Easter egg hunt. So, thank you. Sorry.
Wait a minute,
It's okay.
what grade school did you go to?
Well, I went to private school when I lived in the village.
Oh, okay.
I went to St. John's, and then we moved, my dad passed away, and we moved to War Acres. And I went to Putnam City. But so I graduated from Putnam City there. Then I went
When you
up,
said you grew up in the village, I was just, because there's a lot of Michigan Rams and Johnson Jaguars. Okay.
I'm a Ram.
Yeah, we were.
Battery rings up here.
I'm available, I can give you guys my email, or I have a page on Facebook, or if you want to reach out, if anybody has any questions for me, or wants to know more about me, I'm an open book.
Thanks,
Thank
Sarah.
you.
Thank you. It's a lot of fun. You'll have a good time.
If I make a quick announcement myself. I realize this looks like a career scam, but it's actually. Arnold Palmer can, and it sounded like a beer opening. That's a better.
It's ice tea.
Yeah, I see eliminate. Hello.
Sure.
I saw you mixing it outside. Braxton Banks.
Let's do a motion.
I'm thinking so.
What do you think? Hi, I'm Braxton Banks. I'm running for Ward 4 on April 2nd. That right there. Lived in the village since 2015 and have met some great neighbors, Found a community that we don't want to leave now. So, as much as we look at other houses outside here, we'll stay. Because I think we're here for the long term. So, I started with Sunny's recommendation to the Zoning and Planning Commission. So I've been doing that for about 1.5 years now. So I feel with that, and I've been in the hair industry for 15 years. So that's my creative side. So I feel like with my creative side, my business side, and my experience in zoning and planning, I would probably do great on the council, but we'll see. So if anybody have any questions, I'll be around. I'll probably be around handing out flyers. So you can always call, text, or email. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Braxton. Don Rice Johnson. This is your time. Come on down.
Donna, I guess, you threw me for a loop. I turned over here.
I know.
Over
I
there.
was sitting here and I said, Donna, come in. I was like, oh, I'm gonna see.
Well, since you mentioned that, our buddy, all of our friend Carol has been feeling ill. I just got off the phone with her. She's feeling a little better, but she still has a temperature.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
anyway, let's keep her in our prayers as we do the Cummings family. And I want you to know also that our grassroots group has been praying for your family, and we will continue to do so. It's a very difficult time. So I have, my family moved into the village in 1969 when the Hefner Road was a 2-lane street. So that tells you a little bit. I have lived here for 37 years. I was 5 years old when we moved in, although, I'm not trying to pass as 42. I moved out of the village for a time, and then my family needed me, and I moved back. And my husband and I live in the house that my parents bought in 1969. So I feel like I would bring a fresh new perspective to the city council, and I know that I'm really looking forward to my positive influence on them, and looking forward to meeting a lot of you all at your doors. And my information is on my Facebook page if you'd like to contact me and you have any questions. And most everybody knows where we live. It's not a secret. So although I work most of the time Monday through Thursday, my husband's home, and he's always talking to people on the driveway. So anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you.
What board were you going for?
Ward 4.
This one, okay.
So to be clear,
Formerly my work.
you've got Braxton and Donna over here, and then John and Kara for this. So get to know them all.
Okay, where's Jack Jeffrey? Jack Jeffrey, you're up there.
That'd be me.
Yeah.
And I'm not running for any board.
Breaking the trend.
Not yet.
Dave, can we pop up a PDF?
One or two, Jack?
The bigger one. I think it's one. It's A, actually, is what it's identified as. Yep, that's it. Okay, well, there's top picture there, please.
Top picture?
Yeah. Can we make it any big? No, that's fine, that's fine. Anyway, I've been fighting not the habitat, building houses, it's a density thing that we're unhappy about. And I want to pay compliments to Ann for what she's done. And so that will be on record that I think she does great work. She did the Stephen Florence Legacy Estates. This is when I started doing some research about how all this is working. And so, go to the next picture. So I think that's when you did the last of 146 houses down at the, stop right there, please. Go just a little bit. Okay. Anyway, 146 homes and a nice park. That's just the entrance to it. And go ahead and go on up. But it's an entire subdivision, Ann, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. And it took like 8 years to go do?
I don't think it's that long.
Okay. A long, but I mean, that's a significant amount of time to get it all done. And these are all habitat homes, affordable ones that people got. Okay, well, that's sort of what you're seeing there is the subdivision. And one of the things I liked about it was the park. I've driven through it. Several of the other members in our subdivision in the village have gone through it. And it's a great looking subdivision. Love the park idea and that kind of thing. As we've been going along through here, we're hearing about wanting to put as many affordable houses in the village in this particular area as possible, and I get that. I noticed as we went through there, we didn't see any 4-unit or 3-unit PUDs. They're all nice looking houses. There's a driveway going to the street. There's a porch that you can see. There's a bedroom, possibly a living room, and it's a good looking addition. The houses that I stopped and took some pictures of were like 1280 to 1296 square feet. And quite frankly, those would fit real nice in our addition if that was an option. Okay, next picture. As you drive along right there, that's the park. That's the area that was in pink. And that'd be great. If I was in an addition, I'd love it. I'd like a park over in Arbor. We have the one over there off of Hefner Road, so I guess that's close enough. All right, next one up. One of the things that we are concerned about is as you put a bunch of people in a small area, we're worried about traffic. Our major avenue gets an awful lot of traffic coming in and out of it. And cars come buzzing up down there, and so we're not going to be adding 3 more families up there. We think it will be congested. We think people will end up be parking on the street, creating a little bit of a hazard. Okay, next one. Okay, this is the area you can see in the yellow. The habitat is where the habitat or land that they own now, and then you see some. This is the Cassidy Lakeside Estates 3rd edition, and there are 24 houses on the inside and up to about 40 when you add those to the ones on the other side of Major Avenue and Sunrise. Okay, next picture. The ones that are in pink. If you start at the very bottom, okay, you can rise up just a little bit. Not going to bore you with too many pictures of it, but these are what our houses look like on Major Avenue. That's starting at the corner, 2-car garage, porch area, driveway. Sometimes there'll be a living room, sometimes living room and bedroom. And this is coming up towards Habitat's land. And all of our houses look alike, just like when I say look alike. They're similar size. And then we'll get to the last one. You can stop there, please. All right. The ones you just saw there was like 7 or 8 houses, I believe. And they're average 1,600 and 16, 12 square feet. What are the size of the houses that Habitat's gonna put in if they
Jeff,
do
can
three?
you just address us?
Well, I'm sorry.
Well, it's a time for you to address us, not anybody out here. So, like-
Well, before we end tonight, can we find out what the size?
Got 2 or 3 more minutes.
Okay, almost done. All right. Scroll on up. As I'm driving through Legacy Estates, Stephen Florence Legacy Estates, that's one example of a house that would fit very well next door to us. And that's just a same floor plan, different roof design. Okay, and that's the plat that we had back on December 4th, that I assume is real close to what we're doing now. And then part of what, you can stop there. And as you see in pink there, that's my house. You see the fence line that's right along the drainage ditch. And so we're hoping the Habitat will put 2 houses there. And you see the third one that's back there. It's like a house in my backyard, or the backyard of any of the people that are in the subdivision. And so it doesn't fit the neighborhood. We're hoping Habitat will sit there. We'll put 2 because it fits in with the neighborhood. I wouldn't dream building anything different than how Habitat's done it in the neighborhood. I think that's the last one on that. Okay, scroll through that. Don't need any of that. Those are our covenants we need to go to. The covenants just said 1 house per lot. Those were all the houses that were built. Keep going. And stop right there. Okay, back on 417, we did a petition, circulated for people to approve or disapprove the 4 units. And we've got 40 signatures on it that said we don't want it. We didn't have any signatures that approved it. Let's go on down to the last exhibit. Keep going, please. There should be a map there, but that'll be the start. Okay, right there. And after they did the proposed 3 unit, I just went around to the neighborhood, took David Slazinski's letter that he sent me and put the petition in it, everybody's mailbox, so they could see what Dave sent to me, and spread it around. And then I went around the next day and see who wants to do it for or against it. This time, I thought it would be a lot more would be approving it, but we have 31 for it and 31 against it and 1 for it. The subdivision would prefer not to have 3 houses. We'd like to have our 2 houses, just like our covenants say, and what the village zoning page said earlier this year. So that's all I've got. That's all I've got to say. Thank you for the extra time.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Okay, we'll go on down to the next thing on our agenda, which is approval of consent. Approval of consent agenda. Oh, John. Yeah, would you stand up since we have all of the candidates here? Sure. Introduce yourself.
Am I running?
So it was like,
You called out?
Yeah, I'll just introduce myself real quick. I'm John Allen. I'm also running for Ward 5. I've been on the planning and zoning commission for 6 years. I've lived in the village since 2015. And so, as I said, see me around, I'll be walking door to door, getting all my steps in. I welcome any questions, comments, anything. I think I posted on the village pages as well, so you can have a Facebook contact as well. So, appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Can you open up the claims? Let's just run through it real quick. Council, just take a look at everything as we go and just see if there's anything in here that catches your eye before we approve it. Because the one thing that caught my eye was just the totality of all of it. It's pretty, a lot going on. We had a lot going on, which is good.
Is that pretty typical for, I'm trying to think back, that is a longer list, but January, I'm assuming we're paying, previously paying out for the next year on a lot of stuff.
A lot of the entire is your construction projects on street bond and then the parks.
A lot of
Some construction.
total length of it.
Oh, the total length of it?
10 pages.
Yeah. 2 or 3.
A lot of checks.
I bet you February's will be shorter.
Well, yeah, we have no money now, so. No,
I think they slow down a little bit over the December area for holidays and then very little bit of catch up in January.
I think it's a reflection on the work you guys are doing, so.
Okay, any questions? Yes, sir. Okay, I have a motion to approve both minutes and claims.
A second that. Second by David. David?
Oh, yeah.
Melanie?
Yeah.
Sean?
Yeah.
Bubba?
Yeah.
Sonny?
Yay.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, on the agenda. Mr. Tom Wolf, are you here? Come on down.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Tell us what you're up to.
Well, that'll take too long. I'm a member of the Village Animal League. We're the group, the volunteer group that helps the city take care of the shelter and the animals in the shelter.
Can all y'all hear?
I got involved with this group in 2017, 2019, when we came to the city council and got approval. Kathy's the mayor at the time. And got approval for renovations in the shelter. The shelter's about 30 years old, 40 years old. At the time, there were no dog runs outdoors, concrete floors, no drainage, smelled bad, and there was no play yard, which is really the reason I'm here. Since that time, we've made considerable changes, and it's, you know, if you're a dog, you don't want to live in a shelter, but if you got to live in a shelter, this is the one to live in. We've got a great volunteer group. When I first started this, there were 3 of us. Now there's 17 of us. Those dogs are taken care of by volunteers every single day. And I say every single day, I'm talking about Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. I'm not out there every day by any stretch. Many of them are. I was out there Sunday afternoon, worried about, is the game going to start without me? In the rain, in cold, it was uncomfortable. But you've got really dedicated people that are out there with those dogs. I don't want to forget the cats. The cats are inside though. But they're taking care of the dogs. What we want to do is we want to do an additional renovation. The best idea anyone had with this project is putting a playground out there. It's got the synthetic turf, it's fenced, it's gated, and everything. It's been great for the dogs. If you ever want to just watch some dogs have fun and just pull up a chair, send 2 dogs in there, you got to make sure that they work just about right together. And they just have a ball playing with each other. It's great exercise. If I could, I want to hand you all that I know I would have done a PowerPoint, but I didn't get around to it. So what I'm handing you is a design proposal and scope of work that was prepared with our help by Jim Abernathy. I think you all know Jim. Prepared by Jim Abernathy Construction. Jim was the one that helped us on the project in 2019, and he's agreed to help us on this project. Again, it's a lot smaller. But you can see where the existing building is. To the left is the existing play yard. There's significant unused land on the other side, which is to the south of the building. We want to, if you look at the scope of work, basically the scope of work involves demolition of the existing, basically leveling out the dirt, taking up stumps. There's a pipe that goes through there and grading it. Fencing it, the synthetic turf, putting an awning over it in the summer, you really need it. The overall cost is about $25,000. It is, in our view, well worth it. One thing you got to know also is that there hasn't been an official count, so I'm going to give you my best estimate. Since we started in 2017, I kind of talked to all the group, we believe that we have taken in and adopted over 100 dogs. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good record. And we want to add to this by putting in this yard off to the south. I got to give credit. I'm just one of the representatives. I'm not the main person out there. You may know Cheryl Stickler. She's really not involved that much anymore with the shelter, but she's the one that got us off the ground, got us started. Gene Cates is out there now. She and her husband's with Midwest Recce, one that is going to provide us the grading and services for free. She Force of Nature. We are really a very well organized, dedicated group. I'd ask that the council approve the adding of the play yard to the south of the building as shown on the design. We're going to raise money to get this done, but we would appreciate it if, like the last time, if the city could help us along the way and contribute, say half, which is what we did last time. I'm happy to answer your questions. I certainly appreciate your time.
Just a quick question, but I want to start with, I'm just cried 5 times thinking about what that shelter was like, and then what you and everybody else have done. I can't thank you enough. I'm sure everybody else will have similar thoughts, but when you guys first came to us and where it is today, and you guys got ups and downs and rounds and everything, it's incredible. Well, and if Jim was here, and I have shared a couple differences recently, but the fact that he is still engaged is a testament to him as a great person and a commitment to the city as well.
I can tell you without Jim,
Then none of this would happen.
wouldn't have
None of it would have. And so I mean, it gets to me that he's offering to do this too. So, Vicki, I know you're here, you've helped too with this, and thank you. So I love seeing this is what it should be. And Tom doesn't even live in the village.
no, but I visited on weekends.
You're our favorite out of town. Sorry. But no, I just really want to thank you first for just, you guys have done an incredible job. What is an estimated total cost, you think?
I should have said that along the way, it's $25,000.
25, you might have said it, I was too busy emotionally thinking about what you guys are saying, so, 25, yes, sir. As the lame duck up here, one, I'm not sure what the council considers this, as you guys have done great. So.
Is it 74, 98, and 32, or is that, am I reading that?
The grading work is being done for free, 7,400 plus 98, plus the awning, which is 13,000. And the general labor and supervision, and then Jim starts working free, so it's approximately 25.
It's like a hell of a deal with me.
How can we put that as a budget?
You have to do it, the budget negotiations coming up.
You all listening?
For anybody that gets in,
And what's the money now?
that'll be doing it right as soon as you get elected. It'll be right after that.
I mean, I don't.
As far as we saw the number, we invited Mr. Wolf to come and present this for a discussion. We budgeted 2,500 this year for improvements for the feline, the cap improvement fund. We've had a donation to help with that. We have not started on that project yet. I'll be able to do them both concurrently, but I'm looking at the budget for a couple other things I'll talk about later, and this will be added in there.
So it sounds like as a whole, the council wants to consider it.
I'm on board for sure.
We can't vote on anything.
This is good to have, so we can start working something.
Thank you for everything you do. I know you're a busy guy. Really, this is all extra for anybody who doesn't know that.
We were fearful we're starting to start.
Get an extra copy, but you give Vicki a copy, or she gets one.
To who?
Vicki.
Oh,
And for any of you that have not been out there, I go out there and film dogs, like when they're full, I go out there and film, just out on social media to get some adopted. It is sharp, and I remember the original cement jail cells from the gulag that we had originally. So we've come a long way.
One more thing too, Eric, the Friday paper, you guys have been a great partner in adopting dogs and featuring them. I mean, it's astounding where this has come from that one night when you guys showed up and kind of turned our heads around and showed we got to do something. I said, yeah, we do. So I just, thank you, Tom.
Well, we have come a long way, but it's because of you guys. It's because the city is supporting us, the people like Katie supporting us, getting our dogs in the paper.
It all helps.
You know, you're right, I am a busy guy, but this is the best,
You are
best and
busy.
most fun thing.
Thank you.
Thank you all for your time.
I
Thank you.
Well, and again, it takes all kinds of volunteers and contributors, and I still recognize Vicki Palmer again, because she, from the start, has donated, she continues to buy dog food, she does things that you and I don't know about. So,
Thank you.
if you see her, tell her thank you, and if you guys have extra dogs, she needs them. So-
Or she would like you to take extra dollars.
Oh, that's what I meant, that's the other thing. You always. Okay, let's move on down to consideration of resolution 212-24A regarding a zoning review of St. Eugene's Early Childhood Center, Hefner Road, part of St. Eugene's Catholic Church, and school land unit development. What do we have?
Take just a second to load, but Planning and Zoning Commission earlier recommended approval of this as part of the Early Childhood Center at St. Eugene's. And I probably have it up here already open, so we can take it. And this is a zoning review. It was the St. Eugene's Catholic Church and School Plan Unit Development. And this is the first edition. I'm getting closer, just a large file. We'll tell you that there were 2 amendments with the recommendation. The one was for a variance for the continuous roof line, and I will come back to that. And then also requiring pedestrian sidewalks along Graceville. Resolution of the zoning review, the memorandum from Planning Director Kim Nelson indicating that it meets all requirements and adheres to city standards and code. And, Ken, you did a great job doing P and Z. Tap again.
What's that?
You want to go ahead and put on your captions, get out there.
So this has been a project that's been a couple of years in the works. Back in March of '22, that piece of land comprised of several different zoning classifications. And so they did a PUD, March 21st of '22, St. Eugene's Catholic Church and School PUD. In that PUD, it basically allows for the concept of an early childhood center. So the school that they talked about for and designed is roughly 12,694 square feet. It's going to serve 3-year-old children through kindergarten. It's going to include 3 classrooms, 2 small group rooms, a multi-purpose space, which is a little gymnasium that's in there, and an outdoor play yard. Included in their design is a teacher break room and work room that doubles as a storm shelter. So
That's a what?
storm shelter. Yeah. So one that should be right there. So the one that has the blue line, that square right there, that's the storm shelter. Inside that storm shelter, there'll be our restroom, ADA compliant for if anybody needs to go during a storm. In the proposal, there are 3 existing houses that are on there, depicted on that plan right there. Those are going to get demolished. They're going to do some drainage improvements with this addition. There's going to be a detention pond on the south end of the property to collect water that comes off that lot, so no added water will enter into the street. In that PUD, it breaks down some lot size coverages. The PUD says it has to have 45% of open space within that PUD, which it well does. There are setbacks, which are 25 feet from the front. The side setbacks, which are the east and west side, 5 feet, and 15 setback from the south. Those really do not come into play. Vehicular access comes off of Hefner Road, which will come into an existing drive into the parking lot off of Graceville Avenue, or they will access it through the existing parking lot of St. Eugene's Catholic Church. Height limitation is 50. Their design height is 22.8, so well in that parameter. Landscaping, when complete, shall comply with the regulations set forth in Chapter 26. We've already been in contact with some of the landscape people to meet those provisions. Let's see. They will incorporate the existing parking lot of the church, and ample parking is available. Within the design, city manager had discussed, there are two items of discussion. One is the school is designed on the elevation you see with a continuous roof line of over 100 feet in length. Our code basically talks about buildings that are in excess of that. However, written into the PUD, there are some allowances to authorize deviations within the standards as deemed necessary and appropriate. I think it's the city's opinion that it is designed harmonious with the existing school. It looks like an educational facility and not a warehouse facility in an industrial. So I think it's probably worth considering that deviation allowance. The other thing is the PUD calls for an internal pedestrian sidewalk. The school did design a sidewalk from the existing school to this one. However, the city interprets it as a requirement for pedestrian sidewalk along Greystone going north and south with a handicap accessible ramp into the intersection of Utica and Greystone, and then swinging up around the north side of it and connecting up with the sidewalk in front. I think that will work, pay dividends for neighborhood traffic and children coming to the school. With that said, other than those two items mentioned, everything else meets the intention of the code, and it's here for your review.
Any questions? I've got a couple. Fire away. Thanks for catching the sidewalk. I think you're spot on. So I'm happy that was there. I know Nancy talked about that. My take on the elevation thing is fine, especially since Greystone, is residential, but that actually might look a little bit better than having something that looks more affordable for sure. And the elevation facing Hefner will have that entrance and kind of break it up anyway with all that. So I think that standpoint, that doesn't bother me quite as much either. One question I have is probably more addressed by the school at this point, but something for the council to consider. I know they had issues, and this is their own created issues, not only this other thing you can respect with parents dropping off and picking up and parking out there. I know we put no parking signs, but when this is built with additional traffic, I don't know if there's consideration to do not enter down that street a certain way, or maybe really look at traffic flow there in the morning, and the afternoon, because I know that I've trouble with that before. And if they're doing this plus the future gym, that's what this concerns me about that stretch of Greystone. Keep in mind that that's not far out. It's a good point, but do you have any thoughts on that?
From my understanding is it was when we were in the sit-down meetings with it, apparently the kindergarten through third grade are currently housed in the existing structure. And so a lot of that's coming over, and the classrooms are going to turn into office space or storage and that sort of thing. So I don't look at it as there's existing kids in the there are current students in the existing, and we're doubling the size of how many kids are coming over for this new one. So I think it would be the same traffic, but it would be something definitely to address as far as not creating traffic issues along Greystone Avenue.
Yeah, it's something to keep in mind as they go forward with this.
Better think about it now.
Yeah.
Because it is kindergarten through third grade, so most of those.
So they're not driving yet?
Soon enough.
If they are, that's a different issue for different parking. No, I want them to be like homeowners. I know the school is trying to do their best with their parents and try to educate them.
I think that's an issue that all schools have at some point in time.
That's for sure.
But we can definitely have that conversation.
I think sidewalks are an addition to something like that on there, so.
And along those lines, I'd like to and also chime in regarding being proactive about it, because of course, you're absolutely right with the usage of certain buildings and the number of persons. Like, I'll tell you, when it really got almost to the level of disrespectful to the neighbors is when they have like a graduation or something like that. They should let, kind of have a plan. And so that they know approximately what kind of usage. And when the neighbors know, hey, don't forget on Friday, we have the ability with so many different availabilities of electronics and things of that nature to notify the neighbors and such. But being proactive, I think it would be very helpful to
Yes, I think we've talked to St. Gene's administration in the past, and they've always, had an open ear as far as hearing concerns. I know at one point in time, there was an issue with church chimes, and that was, a simple solve of going a little bit down. They've always been respectful of when they come in here, so. Any other questions?
I just recommend that if this is to approve, we include it as to approve by the city council with the amendments attached here to Exhibit A to require the sidewalks on Greystone and permit the variance for the continuous roof line. I will make a motion to approve this with the amendments attached as Exhibit A for the sidewalks and the variance on the roof line.
I'll second.
David?
Yeah.
Melody?
Yeah.
John?
Yeah.
Bubba?
Yeah.
Sonny?
Yay.
Motion passes 5-0.
Sonny, are you a graduate?
I'm not, I'm just saying things a little back to the church, my mom goes to the church side, not the school side.
You did try, boy.
Kicks me out. But no, I'm a different people, my grade school schools as well. It's always confusing when we play each other as a reference, say, foul in the Eagles.
Okay. Acknowledgement of the withdrawal by Central Oklahoma Habitat for Humanity of the final plan for the Habitat addition to the city of the village, for which city council continued consideration of resolution 12-4, 2023A. Dave?
Mayor, attached is the withdrawal memorandum from Habitat for Humanity. We place this on the agenda to acknowledge, so 25 years down the road, when someone's looking for whatever happened to resolution 12-4-2023A, they will see that it's withdrawn. There is no action needed on our part against the developers withdrawing their work. So we'll just put this in there, put the record and file.
Okay. On to 8. Consideration of resolution 212, 2024B regarding the preliminary plat with the Habitat addition to the city of the village. Dave?
Sir, I will address both items 8 and 9 together. Generally, when a preliminary plat is approved, the final plat comes back a little bit later. All the engineering work has been done on this, so we're seeing these big ran concurrent because there's no need to go back and rework anything from the preliminary and final. To simplify this and what I understood easiest, and if I can understand it, I hope everyone else can. What we're seeing is the image on the right being the old proposal. What is highlighted in the red circle is what is referred to as Common Area B. That is the property that is owned by the church. That is part of the planned unit development. The new proposal on your left is the plat, and it has that 10-foot strip of Common Area B removed. So the area remains part of the plat. The area remains zoned as a planned unit development, which the 10-foot Common Area B is owned by the church. South of the development is owned by Habitat. The other side is the same, just the Common Area B removed, which ensures the land area requirements for the PUD, and the plat is fully owned by Habitat in the process. Resolution with recommendation from planning and zoning before this meeting for approval. And another large file. Gonna buy another internet package up here. Yeah, good internet.
I still have contacts at Cox if you need to
Yeah.
make a call.
No campaign over here.
Okay, so we were originally waiting to see if they had voted the church, and now that's no longer necessary. Is that correct?
Correct. And the plat is less than 10-foot common area, stays owned by the church, remains in the planned unit development zone. And the location and structures of the homes are the same ones that
were recommended for approval by P and Z in December, the same one that we continued action on in December, awaiting the decision on that 10-foot common area.
And there's no issues with setbacks or anything without that 10 feet?
No.
Yeah, there's nothing there on that other side, so.
No, because that area will remain in the PUD.
Yeah.
Questions? Anybody have some more questions?
Well, this is probably a naive question, but does keeping that part of the property in one element of it, but not in the other, any cause for concern for if Habitat or whoever wanted to change and reconsider a fourth one that would
Once this plat is submitted as with 3 homes on it and is approved, it will be up to 3, it will be 3 homes. The plat would have to be.
But I guess what I'm asking is, if after all that's done, they say, hey, still have room for one more, they would have to come before us.
They have to withdraw this and come back.
This plat is 3.
Yeah.
2 years.
So the home size stayed the same, and everything essentially is the same, right? Just 43. Yeah.
Because I think that was one of the questions earlier that we didn't have it fully addressed, and it's been a while, so I mean, do we know roughly the size of the homes that are being?
David, do you want to?
Sure.
David Bottoms, 522 Colport Drive. So the homes are going to be 1,250 square feet
And that's the size.
from the start.
From the start, yeah.
There's just 3 now rather than 4.
Anybody? We need to approve 8 and 9 separately?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 0212-2024B.
This is regarding the preliminary plat.
Yep.
Habitat. Okay.
I'll second.
Is there any, did I miss number 7, take the town?
We don't have to, no action.
Just need to let her know.
Okay, so
Just want it on the record.
Okay.
I'll second.
Motion from Sonny with second from Sean. David?
Yay.
Melody? I'm sorry. Sean?
Yay.
Bubba?
Yay.
Sonny?
Yay.
Motion passes 4-2.
Consideration of resolution 212-2024C regarding the final plat habitat addition to the city of the village.
The final plat was reviewed by P and Z before this meeting with a recommendation to approve. And the final plat is for the 3 lots that were presented.
That's what we just approved, there's no change.
There is no change from the preliminary plat to the final plat.
Okay, I can make a motion to approve resolution 0212-2024C.
I'll second.
Motion by Sonny, second by Sean. David?
Yay.
Melody? Sean?
Yay.
Bubba?
Yay.
Sonny?
Yay.
Motion passes 4-1.
Okay, thank you. Hey, we appreciate all y'all's hard work and both the residents that are there now and you guys, and especially the church, everybody put their heads together and kind of work this thing out. Okay, let's see what we get into next. How about some general obligation bond presentation? Would you like to do that? Sure.
Before I announce the 2022 the voters approved a general obligation bond for 2 propositions. Sold half the bonds and began phase 1 on streets, sidewalks, drainage, and phase 1 on parks. We're completing the streets and road, we're working on the sidewalks, and started planning on the drainage. Parks are progressing very well. If we were to look at selling the bonds at the end of June for money available for next fiscal year, we would need to bring back action in March for you, confirmation in April, and I believe our sale date to close the bonds will be on May 21st. So we about exhausted, we're spending in the first half, and we're ready to start the projects for the second half. We looked at this briefly last year, it wasn't the time, because we haven't even got started, so I put over, but there is some work involved, for our finance consultants and attorneys, to prepare for this, so if you do not want to move forward on this, or if you don't know, then I see no reason why we don't, we're ready to get the projects lined up and we're ready to move forward.
Did we talk, when we first got into all this, about overruns or things that are gonna be more expensive just because of the time?
By the design of the bond, we identify 85% of the funding that has to come in, and then you have 15% that has to fall into that category. So I don't have the sheet right in front of me, but if we had $100,000 for streets, we would have to identify 85,000 for streets, and the other 15,000 could be used to repair any street that we have. So that kind of counts a little bit because things cost a little more 2 to 3 years down there.
So there is a chance we're gonna have to still get it on yet or something. I mean, it's a long shot, but just to say, you know, hey.
What we had streets, sidewalks, and drainage all under one proposal.
Yeah.
So we can, as long as we have, as long as we were working on the streets, we are a little bit ahead on. So the good thing is the cost on the sidewalks are cheaper than the street, and if we can run both of the drainage phase 1 and phase 2 at the same time, I think we can pull that off.
Okay.
Parks and major improvements, definitely, and then the other 4 improvements, the cost of park equipment might have gone up a little bit, but I think we're in a good position, and we'll have a better presentation for you next month, but before I line anything up, I want to make sure that this area can be like.
Okay. Good job. We got you.
Well, let's see that further on. So.
We got you. Okay. Well, this time, I would entertain a motion, I believe, to enter into executive session.
I'll make a motion to enter into executive session. Second.
So, Sean, second? David?
Yeah.
Melody?
Yeah.
Sean?
Yeah.
Bubba?
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Sean, I know some of you guys left, so. Gotta do it all. Gotta do it all.
We will be back if you guys mistake, you don't, we totally understand.
Here, people.
I think we should be back at 11:05. Just for saying.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. She was so interested in the last 2 years.
I keep thinking, she's lining up all the angels right now. Let's see, there was last turn, that's not where we are now. Oh, there's the camera. Here we go. Okay, so, do you guys understand your budget and stuff here? Oh, yes, so there's the select.
Pay attention.
Definitely.
There was a little more.
You know,
Grab a bite.
thank you for.
I feel like you had said something similar.
Look forward
I'm
to
sure
it.
we'll talk.
Okay, we'll tag team on the street.
No, where do you live?
So I don't have kids.
Okay.
The west of the city.
Okay. Ashley. Ashley and I'm sorry.
Well, and I don't have a lot of.
Probably, did you see somebody who looks like they're dying while they're running down the street?
Yeah, that's
That's my first moment. We need to do. Yeah, like I was running down the.
No, I guess I saw you and I messaged her. I guess I didn't.
It's like I'm running on, like, I cannot. 2, 3, yeah, right now it doesn't matter. It takes 3 miles or 4 miles. It's not weird like that, so my wife is like, I don't want to. Yeah, yes.
Well, the thing that I noticed most about living where I live is I get to see so many dogs, which I love. I'm a dog person, so I don't always say, I'm the yard, I always have to check with dogs.
Oh, yeah, we're it's like, you know,
Yeah, I don't know often. I've seen, dogs like, oh, this dog is down, like, oh, that's Domino. I don't know their parents' name, I'm sorry, but I know. I know the
yeah, we're the dogs. Yeah, we supposed to be miniatures in most games. So it's stayed long and short hair.
And so I am really into stuff.
Here's the part, imagine walking outside. Standing there, attention, waiting outside, waiting for a tourist to happen. Usually they're like in the bed for the back, watching, they see somebody walk, run for a third step.
We're
We're working on it, we're trying to.
Yeah. Yeah, that, I mean, that was our conversation from the beginning.
Yeah.
I grew up with dogs. My mom was a lifelong dog. It's hard. I don't.
Yeah, it's funny, I mean, you know, it's training.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, I'm still, it's all part of the work. I feel bad, I'm like, I don't feel bad, I work that. Like, we don't even take the place. It's hilarious, we, you know, the doctors are just more and our trainer brought her 2-year-old, check back in, and raised up here. And like, she's very reactive, and like, rocket our little birds, so they're like going at each other for a second. By the end of that hour, they're walking along.
I was like, I know what
Like, oh, wait, like, I know what y'all are doing.
I haven't even the player, like, play, oh, it's the highlight of my day.
2 years up there.
They were just, they gave me the, yes. I don't know. She, recently we went there. She specializes in dog mountain. So she kind of specializes herself. So we went second. Like, yes.
My mom, she,
Okay, yes.
that's their breed. And, but I was come over and like, help me train my dog. She's like, I can't deal with the little dog. She was like, give me the German Shepherd, eat somebody, I can fix it.
Yep.
She said, I can't make that dog.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, they are very interesting, man. You think they're 400 pounds, like, that's sheer ankle count. So, anyway. All right, who are you gonna be?
Okay.
So, golf.
Yeah, I saw them now, you know,
You did, appreciate it. You said it.
They were started working, but I still didn't.
oh,
Yeah.
right. No, I I just love to do that. Her and I, switched it up with a friend, and then worked for my business, and then when my parents were in school, my buddy. Yeah. That's how it works, the other day. But I said, I wrote council candidates. Which is
Literally, I haven't seen you in like 10 years, and when you went, oh my gosh, hi, I'm like,
I do that, except something that's quite a conversation.
oh, same.
All right.
Same vibe, same. Yeah. Yep. Well, no, I think that's like a common human thing. So, no, because I've seen so many like social media posts of that. It's like, oh hi, well, what is this? What is your name?
My favorite was, Different times going on.
I was like, I relate to this so much.
Dude, I never remember anyone's names. It's the worst.
I gotta write it down. If I write it down, I remember them. If I don't.
I'm surprised you're not running too. I thought you'd be running.
Well, War Two's up.
Oh.
Yeah, so next year I'm running.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is funny, because like.
I heard it.
Yeah, they heard, yeah.
Who's War Two now?
War Two is Bubba, and
Bubba.
he's, legendary out running next year, but.
I just did a story about all you guys.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Do you need me to spell my name for you?
I have it.
Okay. Are you Eric?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I'm
And
from Lance.
I got on your website,
Oh,
and
okay.
it's just brief about you guys. It didn't go in depth, but your age and where you live and
Great.
that kind of thing. But anyway, what's my point of my story?
You're right.
It'll be in this,
Not running.
it'll be in this week's. Oh, I know the point of my story is. Okay, so Nichols Hills had a filing period too. They never have anyone file against them, and the average length of office for all three of their city council members is 18 years.
Oh.
They don't ever change. No one ever
Because nobody
votes.
runs
No one even goes to the voting booths.
Yeah.
They just don't pay attention to it. It's because you cover their meetings and you cover these meetings. It's night and day.
Really?
They don't have any community involvement. None.
Wow.
Nobody comes.
Nobody knows
listens.
each other.
Yeah.
Oh.
No,
See, that's
they're
one of my
country-
favorite
they're
things
at the
about
country
city.
club.
Yeah. Like when I got hired here, I realized within that first year of working here, I was like, this community cares so
They
much.
do.
And I love it.
Yeah, I love your poetry thing.
I
You never wanted to use that picture of the dogs, but they didn't want to use it because
Sally was asking.
they were
"What
just
is
a
it
little,
gonna
they were
be?"
just a little bit rough.
Okay.
They were a little bit rough.
Yeah.
They should have been, they probably been more posed. It would have been, they were a great idea though. But I love that poetry thing. I'm a follow up on that.
Yes, that'll go live in April. She's working on it right now. We have to find poems that are, I don't remember what the. Yes, thank
Well, how about
you.
like there once was a man from Nantucket? No, I guess you couldn't do that one.
I was just gonna say, I love the Friday paper because when I was little and I lived in the village, I was in the Friday paper with my mom and her dog training friends and all of our dogs. And I thought I was a celebrity.
What year was that? Do you
So
remember?
I was probably, so I was born in 77. I was probably 7 years old.
So about 84.
Yeah, and
I
because.
was working there
That
then
was
too.
So do you know, did you know Sandy Case?
Uh-huh.
So that was my mom's very good friend.
Oh, yeah, I
So
knew
Sandy's
Sandy.
the one
Sandy
that-
raised all the Australian Shepherds.
Yeah, my mom and her were dog training friends from before
Oh,
I
I
was
knew Sandy forever.
Yeah, so Sandy's the one that said, let's do a picture. I think we might have been at the park.
How awesome.
I know, and I was wearing some stupid hat, I think. I don't know. I just thought it was the best.
You know, I started working for the paper when I was in high school, and I wrote the Northeast News. I grew up in Camelot.
Okay.
But they had the crosstown busing for integration. So my sister, although my sister was a year older than me, she went to John Marshall, but they changed the boundaries and I went to the Northeast. And so I wrote a big letter to the editor saying, how come you don't cover Northeast? You have lots of kids that go live in Friday Land.
And they're like, we'll do it.
And so they did it. So I got to write the column. That's why I
My
started.
mom went to John Marshall, but I think they lived like by North Highland, but they bused them to,
Uh-huh.
that would have been like 73.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
What?
Y'all just know everyone. You're like, yeah, I know this. Yes, I grew up with them. I always still know them.
It's like a small town.
It is.
Yes.
Well, Leland Gorley, when he started Friday, he's created a community out of a part of town. That's what he did, and that's what's made it successful.
Yeah.
Because there was never a paper that represented this part of town, other than the Oklahoman, but they covered the big picture, but they didn't localize it.
Right.
And that's what sells. Community papers are going to be the ones to survive,
I believe it.
because they're the ones that cover your hometown, your neighbors.
Yeah.
The Oklahoman doesn't do that. They can't. They can't do that.
Well, that's awesome. I love it. But yeah, when my husband and when I got married, my husband already owned his house, and I was like, well, we need to move, whatever. But it took a lot of things to happen, and we were looking at buying a house, and I had already decided we were moving to the village. He thought we were moving to Edmond, close to his parents. I was like, oh no, I found us a house. I've already got this all worked out. He was like, when did you do all this? I'm like, when I'm laying in bed scrolling through my phone. Like, isn't that what most people do? People think, no, most people sleep. And I was like, well, I grew up there, and he didn't even know that. But I was like, I grew up there, and I love it, and I want to be part of a community. Like, you can't be part of a community
Yeah.
living in Oklahoma City unless it's, you know, a,
Yep.
you know.
That's why Fridays is the success that it is.
Exactly, I love it.
And then when I worked at the Omniplex, after I worked at Friday, you and your parents performed at one of our Omniflame
Yes.
black tie gals. They had the, what was your dad's name?
Floyd
Floyd
Red
Red
Rice.
Rice Orchestra. Oh my gosh, they were awesome. Big band sounds. And you played the drums.
No, my sister did.
Oh, your sister did.
But thank you for remembering.
What'd you play?
Electric bass.
Okay, yeah, okay, I remember that. But it sure was fun.
Well, thank you for covering all of this for the paper.
Well, it
And
helped
so-
supplement my income of just a tiny, tiny bit. Not a lot, but.
Well, I always tell people, if you feel like life is passing by too quickly, go to a city council meeting. You're going, it's gotta be 3 hours. Oh, no, it's only been 30 minutes.
Yeah. So what are we discussing?
Well,
It's a
I
personnel
was
matter.
looking here, yeah, see, for the performance evaluation of the news
Well, you
renewal
know-
of the city manager. So instead of discussing his evaluation.
Is it his evaluation?
I guess.
Because you know
But that-
also that
Oh.
the fire chief is left,
Uh-huh.
and I've heard rumblings that
Wait,
he
fire
didn't
chief
leave on
left?
his
Yeah.
own accord.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
that makes,
yeah.
okay. Because I emailed the fire department and they never emailed me back.
I've emailed the fire.
I got the
Emailed me back.
I think they're all
Okay.
Well, they just,
Yeah, we realized that our fire evacuation maps are very outdated. And I was like, I don't know how to fix this. And my coworker at Del City was like, well, I work at the fire department. I was like, cool, I'll reach out.
You should have called it. They
They like to.
Right, that's what I'm
Like,
thinking.
if I was a phone.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd.
Yeah, that makes sense. I might just give them a call. I need to call, do a 911. We have a panic button at our circ desk that immediately dials. And I go like once a quarter, we have to check to make sure it's still functional, still reaching the correct
Yes.
number, they still have the right information. So I have to check them.
So I think it's
That's
interesting
pretty good.
because
Yeah.
this is going to be almost all brand new.
I know, I'm like, I mean, I could have
I mean,
it
it's-
for another 20 minutes, but
So-
I also told my coworker that I would cover the desk on the other coworker's meet. I was like, I'll be, not that I'm not gonna bus, but I'll be amazing bus.
Maybe it was Dolores.
You're gonna go what? Okay, I'm gonna go be library manager.
Yeah.
How do you spell?
KAR. Oh, and I have a hyphenated last name. TAN WAL.
Oh, okay.
It was lovely to
Yeah.
officially
She's
meet
always
you.
apologizing to court.
Yes,
And I'm
please
like,
do.
are you kidding me?
Anytime, she's like, hey, what's up? I'm like,
But
okay, cool.
it's just lovely.
Now, have you seen our?
You heard it now, she officially has
Well,
said
everybody has
it.
it a million times.
Yeah.
And I don't know if
We,
I'm-
they're out there, if you ever walk
If I could
outside
vote.
office, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I know, right? Well, so when
I
I bought my house, on the 21st of May.
They don't,
It was with this.
they have a doggy door. And
I get
know
it, but I
what?
love like stepping around every
It's
time I'm in this area.
Because of my husband.
Right up here.
Well, so it's
So
whether
it's
or
not
not I
nice.
ended up there. I posted,
No,
I posted to those websites like, hey, who's selling the houses? So one of our realtors, she said, she contacted me. And, she's like, I know
We,
your house, it's not even
my
on the
family
yet.
moved into.
That's what I know about it. She wasn't even, yeah.
1970.
She wasn't even the realtor of the house. She was like, I just heard it
Yeah.
myself. So I contacted right after that.
And so
Called
they
me,
had to sell
the
it
ice storm and everything. And
2008.
so,
She came in with me and then.
I love, are you gonna sell your house to this lady? And she's like, yeah. And then she told me the price.
So we
I said,
didn't quite make it.
Right there. I did have to break to my husband.
This is just the.
I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, there you go. That, no,
I remember Red Local.
I didn't want to give him time to like get nervous.
Oh, for sure.
You know.
I used to record myself with my apartment complex. I'm on Street now.
161st Street, yeah.
You're not paying this much for an apartment.
You know,
If I have-
so it's been like,
When I,
You tell me
when
whether
I,
to keep our
when I,
laws.
you know, this was 7 years ago, now we're there for 6 years, it was $850. And by the time I left, it was
You park the
11.
floors.
And 6 years.
At a concert.
And
You know, I'm
I
on there.
and so then, of course, I got back with, it was a seller's market, had a higher market.
I can't
But I lucked out because this was a rent house when using as a rent house, they were Edmond people
This is
who
when it's
had,
later on.
and they lived in
Yeah.
Arsenal. I was able to hire them down, and they could cover closing costs, and when I did section report done, there were like 7 hot ticket items that had to fix it.
I love it.
I just wanted to go, I was like, I will, yeah.
Yeah, and Hoover.
I bought it,
And
we're
then she
just
did
trying to, I bought
our-
it in.
And they changed the boundaries and I'm, okay. So
Yeah,
then-
about my house.
And so we kind of, it was
Yeah,
terrible
so I
because
bought mine.
it's
for-
split up
yes,
nicely.
we closed on
Because
January
it's just,
9th.
they just didn't allow.
Oh, so it
Because you get active in what you're doing.
Oh, like, yeah, I mean, it was like, everything.
So that's
felt-
a-
Well, see, that's why I kind of feel behind, I'm like, everything felt, I was,
The experiment.
I was almost like a house would come out, my realtor had to make a
Because
big
look at all
bill,
this.
pretty, like, you know, everything was on, it was gone. And then houses we would go and look at, and be like, okay, that's, it's a great
Where did
house,
you
it's a great
be?
deal. But you see that in the corner, that's worth 20 grand right there,
You
fixed.
did.
Yeah,
So
I
you were
have
so.
that. So the fact that I got a house that
For,
for a
well, I
couple
taught it for 7 years. That was for
The lady that
about
owned my house,
15.
she.
And then I was in John Marshall
Who's a
for-
builder, she run
And
buildings.
then you know,
And then John Marshall. Yeah, and it was kind of fun because
And he
you know
was
how
not a better house for her, so.
the trophy case
He
has
there were only a couple
wall
of things, so he did that work, it's on top of hers.
pictures.
I've never been in
Like,
there.
so it was like all,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and my picture, I was on the chat.
and every one of them.
Is that there from back in your day?
Yes.
Cause I
Where
was
did
like,
you
I
guys
had to
go?
get her, so she was like, one of my thoughts.
Yeah.
And so she came in and was like, I'll give you X number of dollars, this is our
Oh
house.
my
And I was
God.
like, and I said, well, I need,
He was.
it was like $5,000. He said,
That's
so it was like everything was like, oh.
You know, when I
Not
was-
anymore, but I said.
When I was in middle school, was when I started playing with jazz band. I was 12. And so I was a very busy little.
Uber was like.
Yes, well, and so.
It was a, even though it wasn't.
Yeah.
We love this.
I will send you.
She was best friends with us.
Is this my forever home that I live in? No.
Better you.
Boyfriend of 2 years has already told me he likes it.
Because the children, kids are so happy about
So,
I mean,
I definitely know in my future that I will not
Yeah,
live there.
every, that they get to go to, their school close to home. And they come to Uber. and they look-
Like, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
No, I think I'm in the 6th or 7th.
I mean, my friend, right when I was buying my house, my friend just said, oh,
Because
build the house.
they could, kids
All the
were
house
built.
materials.
Yes.
They're like,
But we had some.
they built the house and everything. I can't wait.
And actually, that was wild, and I was telling Simon the other day that I was like, I get this mortgage report thing sent to me every month, and I was looking and I was like, it's really funny, the fact that I
So
can't
you know, I
afford
was.
my house.
Yeah,
Yeah, like if I was to go and try to buy it, I can afford my house, it's jumped up so much. I
Yeah.
spent time with that time.
Right, it is. It's like I made a decision.
I'm in a great position, I work for that.
I'm worried about it. And you told me.
Yeah, no, I'm like, no, it's,
Well,
it
the
takes
daughters-
3 times, and I'm really looking forward to
Beautiful
everything.
theology.
Because I have money to do things.
Well, you know, it's just,
All right.
it's always.
Bye, y'all, it's nice to meet you, good to see you. Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye. See ya.
Yeah, good to see you.
And my good friend that worked there, she did all the finances. She goes, math is just like a puzzle.
Oh,
You
yeah.
put the pieces together.
Yeah.
And you gotta have that kind of mind to do it.
That's okay. I'm not, you know, I was terrible at spelling. And I mean, little Sarah, who was a 3-month preemie, she was 2 pounds 4 ounces when she was born, my niece, you know. I could say, and she was in elementary school. Sarah, how do you spell so-and-so? I was confused. And she'd tell me, and I was like, how do you know that? Because she was so. had
She's
so
that
much
right
trouble.
grade, left grade there.
Well, my mom was a good speller, her mother was a good speller, and I was not. And she'd say, well, I just saw it. I saw it. And I'm like, I've seen it before too. So we all have our gift. You know, that's, as you get older, and especially as a teacher, you know that. We all have our gift, and it takes all of us to make
You
it
know,
work.
I lost my job at Redder because of COVID. And then at my age, I couldn't find another PR marketing job because they like young pretty girls to do that. And so I got a job working at Casey's, and it has great insurance, and I had a quadruple heart bypass in May, and they paid $276,000 in my surgery. But I just, work at Casey's. And I've been contemplating going back to work in the school because they're hiring
Yes.
teachers
Yes.
that don't have, I mean, what
Absolutely.
they call it,
Yeah, non-certified.
non-certified, but they have openings for people to teach. And I'm good at English and
Right.
language
Yeah.
arts and.
You have to be sufficiently mean, you know?
Me.
Yeah, in my first month of teaching, I thought, I have to be meaner than I ever thought.
So were you middle school or high school?
I started out in middle school.
That's probably the most difficult
Yeah.
age group, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
they're just so mean.
They are, well, yeah. But, I mean, I did okay, and it was the last 2-3 years that were kind of, you could see the things starting to really fall apart, but I don't know, it's just.
Did you you went to UCO Central State?
I have a business degree at OU, and then I went to UCO to get my master's in mathematics. So, but I went also to OU to get my certification.
I got my degree in journalism from Central State, but I was also Buddy Bronco. I got 3 tuitions my junior year, but they were the school mascot.
Yeah.
That was sure fun.
I always wanted to be a mascot like that.
It was fun. But back then, I went to, his name was Dudley Hyde, and he was the dean of men, and I said, Dr. Hyde, how do you get to be Buddy Bronco? He goes, you want to be Buddy Bronco? And he grabbed my arm and pulled me over and opened this closet and gave me this great big denim bag. He goes, here, he's yours. Now they have tryouts, and they're part of the cheer squad. And when I did, they were just thankful to have some.
Yes.
And I said, well, that's great. You know, you'll get free tuition too.
Man,
Oh, my gosh.
For a year.
that's nice.
And
I mean, that's-
books.
Yeah, that's a great incentive.
Yeah.
It
that's
was.
definitely makes it
Ruined my neck.
Oh.
To have that hand thing on with the big horse mouth and looking out. Kids are pulling my tail, so I just buck wrong with my leg.
Well, Kara, good luck.
Thank you, sorry.
I'm proud of you for doing that.
Thanks.
You contribute so much to the community, and it's.
I thought the same thing.
That's
Thank
really
you
great.
guys so much.
I thought
I
the
mean so
same
much.
thing.
Really, that's my goal. Whether it's, well, let me just keep throwing.
And you
it.
know what? This is what it
By
takes.
exercise.
It takes lots of door knocking.
Yeah.
You gotta be, and it's tiring, isn't it, Donna?
Oh, well, I campaigned for a whole year,
Yeah, you did for District 83 as well.
85.
85, I mean, I think I said 83, no crap.
She wore herself
Yeah,
out.
it is, I hope I don't have to do that again. I don't want this kid.
Well, the thing that I'm really pleased is all the candidates seem so worthy and would be good. I don't think the city.
I think we all have,
Strengths.
the
and team
excitement
members.
that you need to do something like this. I had a friend say, well, I mean, is this gonna be like your new job? I was like, no.
$25 a month.
$25 a month, I mean, can you pay the rest of my bill? But he was like, well, then why are you doing it? And I was like, well, I wanna be part of the community, I wanna be part of the decisions that are made, this is where I'm going to die, I hope, I mean, this is it. And people, and I think, I'm 46, like, do I really need to be changing my whole life? Well, I'm 46, like what?
Yeah. I was 46 weeks.
Like, in my 30s, what I wanted to do, probably not. I probably would have been like, no, I need to, I don't know, go do my hair.
Go play.
Yeah. But now, I'm married, I've learned a lot in my life, and I think that has helped me decide, you know what, let's do it.
I think you. And the election day's on my birthday, April 2nd.
Is it? My mom's birthday is just a couple days later, it's the 4th, so Hopefully we'll have something to celebrate.
Good time of the year to have a birthday,
My mom's
springtime.
birthday was April 2nd.
Really?
Yeah.
See, and see,
My sister goes to
Easter
April
Sunday is
2nd.
the Sunday right before our birthday. And I have an Easter twice, but I never will again. Because you look ahead.
Yeah.
But, I had Easter birthdays twice. Hi, Donna. All right, we've got quite a long meeting left.
I know, I'm actually gonna leave.
You and I will be the only ones left. How are you liking your new job? It's been a year now?
Oh, it's been over a year.
Has it
It's been a
really?
year. and
Oh, yeah, you started
5
before
months.
Dave, didn't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, it's almost been a year and a half, getting close to.
You know, this is my second time to work at the paper. The first time I actually worked on site, and it was a different day and age, and
Yeah.
you know. And I was at the first city council meeting that Bruce when they hired Bruce.
Oh, is that right?
Wow.
That was in, I think it was 84 or 5. I was in about 23. But, yeah.
You know, I read somewhere that they're doing a journalism program at Metro Tech. They've gotten some grant or something, and I thought, should I do that? And my husband was like, maybe you should do like one thing at a time, like one new thing. And
Hey, where's Jane tonight?
I don't know.
She had something going on, she couldn't make it tonight, I don't remember what.
And her little friend, her little friend is like 90, 89 years old, that comes with her, with the little short hair,
Yeah.
and always dressed so.
Joyce.
Joyce, dressed so
Yeah.
pretty. Yeah, we were visiting with her.
I
She
didn't
goes,
know
well,
she was that
I'm
old.
89. It's like, oh, that is impressive.
That is.
What's her name, Joyce?
Joyce and Jane.
I know Jane. Okay.
Yeah.
Jane Lowder, and Jane went to Hoover and taught at Hoover
Oh.
and grew up in the village and went to John Marshall.
I think my mom went to Hoover.
It was awful.
That's what she said.
Ugh.
She said like she was bullied and she
It
said
was-
she wore
it was-
glasses
it
and
was-
people were, she said it was awful.
Well, it was just terrible racial strife.
That's what she
Because it was
said.
right when
That's what she said.
forced integration, the very first year, 73, I was there, and it was frightening.
That's what she said.
It was frightening. It was awful.
So like my mom and my aunt, they went to Oklahoma City schools and then it was so bad for them, such a bad experience, that the younger two ended up going to McGinnis.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was like, number one, you're not Catholic. Number two, how did you guys get the money to send them? She said, I couldn't deal with what the older two. So we just had to make it work.
I was an Air Force brat, so I didn't.
So you were all over,
All
huh?
over.
How'd you end up in Oklahoma City Tinker?
My mother was from Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and so when my dad retired,
This was
this is
home.
where he decided to retire. He was from Maine.
Maine.
He was actually Canadian French, so he was, I guess, here when they met, probably just for.
So where did you worked for city council, for city hall before
Yeah,
here?
I worked
In
for
New-
the Oklahoma Municipal League for 18 or 19 years, 19. And then I went to another organization and was their education director, and then went to Nakoma Park as their clerk treasurer. Was there 18 years.
Nakoma
I'm a
Park.
long-termer, usually.
Yeah.
I'm somewhere for a long time.
Do you live in Nakoma Park?
No, I live in Midwest City.
In Midwest City?
Yeah.
You have to drive a ways to get here then.
I do.
You know what,
I
when
said I have
worked
to
in
really
tour-
like it to do it. I really do.
And that's something
When I worked in tourism, I worked with a lot of folks from Midwest City, and I'll tell
Yeah.
you what, they are the most loyal people to their bombers, their Midwest City bomber, and they're just their hometown, almost like the village.
Yeah,
And they are
it
so
is. It's
loyal.
bigger, but it's a lot of similarities.
A lot.
Because it's a small community too.
They're
kind
very,
of.
very, very, very
Yeah.
protective.
Now, my kids were Carl Albert, not Jamal.
Oh, they're Carl Albert. I worked with a lady who's in the first grade graduating class
Oh, really?
of Carl Albert.
Yeah, my husband was a assistant fire chief in Midwest City.
Oh, really?
He retired after 32 years.
My
yeah.
father-in-law was fire chief.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, well, yeah, we landed there, we stayed in Midwest City.
Boy, it's booming.
Yeah,
This moving east.
it is, it's.
Those
we
big
were-
giant homes.
We built a house in 92 there, and we were kind of on the edge.
Not anymore.
No.
Yeah, I remember there was, probably around that time, there was this big campaign about East Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Or East Oklahoma, or, you know,
E-
East.
Eastern Oklahoma
East-
County.
Yes, that's what it was.
EOC.
Yes, and one of the news ladies was like,
Jennifer Reynolds.
thank you. And I thought, you know what, like, it never occurred to me, like, there was all of that out there.
All that out there.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so, and you know what, that's a really pretty part of town.
It is.
Because of all the hills and trees.
It is.
We don't have the hills and trees.
Right.
Right.
You know, and then you go further Piedmont, I mean, that is the high plains.
Yeah.
You know, because when you drive out there, you're going up the whole way.
Yeah, it's very pretty out that way. And the paper, you know, when you were talking about the hometown paper.
Midwest City Sun, Dick Hefton.
Yeah, we get that, and it's because of the local stuff, we want that paper, and my grandkids' pictures are in there, it's like, I need this.
And you know what? The philosophy of Friday, when Leland started it, they're celebrating their 50th year. And when he started it, he wanted pictures of 100 people and names of 1,000 people every week. And every name was bold-faced. So if your name's in the paper, you want a copy of it.
Absolutely.
And if
Multiple
your grandparent or if your kids are in the paper, that's why they do so much high school sports.
Yeah.
Because if your kids are in the paper, you're going to buy several copies because you're going to buy for grandma and grandpa and, you know, all of that.
I need to see the picture of my dog.
You do. My little Red's been the cover of the
Really?
paper. She's
I have the cutest
dog.
dog. She's old, but she's so cute.
I'll tell you what, they have a backlog. Everybody gets there. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They should just do a whole page on it.
That's a great idea. Or a review of all the,
Yeah.
because there'd be 52 every year. Wouldn't that be
That
fun?
would.
Yeah, with this community enjoying their animals so much, I mean, that
This
would be
is
really.
I think there might be a cool story about the animal shelter.
Yeah.
Because I like that. I like the adopt stories.
Yeah.
And I think that could be a really, especially when they got the guy that came and spoke, he gave me his card, he's with Phillips Murrah, which is a law firm downtown.
Yeah.
When I worked at Red Earth, our board president was an attorney with him at Phillips Murrah. So-
With the guy that spoke tonight?
He was,
Okay.
one of the partners at Phillips Murrah, like this gentleman was too. And that's.
So this guy was an attorney that was here tonight?
And he's an attorney, and it's one of the biggest law firms in
Is
town.
that right?
And he's out there working with the stray dogs.
And he doesn't even live in the village.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, it really is.
It's, yeah.
I had somebody, so a friend of, well, it's a friend of my family's, but she owns a obedience school, Full Circle Obedience School, and she was telling us, she was like, you know, village shelter, that is really nice. I was like, I know, I live in the village, I know this.
It's nice that it's nice, but it's sad that they need it.
I mean, it is, but, you know. All right, I'm gonna go before that.
I think I hear
It doesn't
you.
sound like they're quitting anytime soon.
I know.
Is it Dave's review?
Yeah, he's been here a year, so.
Has it been? It's time for a year story with him about how his first year's been.
Yeah, it is.
A year.
This month is a year, yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Okay.
So it's time to renew his contract.
Wow.
I know, it goes fast.
It does.
I know. Yeah. Tell me about it. I'm getting closer to retirement. I mean, I can retire now, but I'm waiting because the longer you wait, the more you get.
That's right.
All right, see you
It was
later.
nice
Good
to
luck,
meet you.
Carol, on your
Thank you.
campaign. I hope you, wish you well.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Well, it was a packed place when I got here. And it's true, they don't have any citizens at the Nichols Hills meetings. They're all, they make all their department heads come and sit through the entire meeting.
Oh, they do.
And then those Nichols Hills ladies that plan the galas of the fancy
Yeah.
country club stuff, well, they have these garden committees and landscape committees and committees for art in the parks, and they treat it like a country club deal. And so they come and talk about, they make directories and
Oh, wow.
like, but there's no citizen involvement. I mean, they don't come to talk about what the people here
Normal
come.
stuff.
Yeah, because they're involved. It's so interesting. I come in here and I'm in here when there's a seat to be had. Was it like that in Tacoma Park?
Sometimes. We had a bigger room than this, but yeah, sometimes. But our people sometimes weren't so pleasant. There's a lot of hatefulness that went on there.
Really?
Yeah,
This, the majority of the time, these people are very cordial.
right. And
There's a
that's
little
fine.
animosity when, with the habitat thing.
Right.
And then, were you here when, Mayor Adam,
No.
when all that happened and all the, oh my gosh, that
No,
was
I can't
contentious.
attest to that, thank goodness.
That was contentious. We broke that story.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and then all the TV stations picked up on it, and then it was on the national news, and then he started saying it was, gender hate or hates against gays. It didn't even do that. It had to do with everything with him interrupting the police officers. He's trying to make it
Doing something he shouldn't have been
right,
doing.
writing a ticket for speeding. Because if you pull up next to an officer doing that and you divert his attention, that could be his death. That person, that car can pull a gun, shoot him in the head right then and there and speed off. It takes that long.
And anymore, you just.
He
don't
didn't
know.
get it. He didn't get it. He was so defiant. And David Bennett he had lost an election. And so he didn't have his seat for a couple of years. He was out here and he stood and said, "What the hell were you thinking?" I wrote that down really quick. What the hell were you thinking? Oh my gosh. I really like Dave though. He's doing a good job.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
I bet the people in Kingfisher miss him.
Probably.
Has his family relocated here?
No, his daughter's, big into sports out there, so I don't know.
That's tough. Is he commuting back and forth?
He is.
That's a long way.
He is. It's not a whole lot further than what, and we have another girl that just started, in September, she lives in Guthrie. And he actually did what was he doing it for? Maybe to just let everybody know. He did a kind of a chart of where we all live that work here. It's interesting.
Is it really?
We come from Shawnee. We come from Kingfisher, Midwest City, Moore. I mean, it's just all the way around.
Well, I was telling them I grew up just in Camelot, just 10 blocks north of here. And my stepdad had a business in Shawnee. He drove to Shawnee every day. And so I guess, you just get used to it.
Yeah.
The commute.
Well, a lot of people, drive to Tinker from everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just whatever. It has to be worth it. And that's what I said about this. I mean, it has to be worth it, and it is.
So Dave was mentioning something about thinking about hiring somebody to help with the scheduling at the park. And is that like a full-time job?
Yeah.
Is that going to be an in-house hire or outside hire?
I don't know what direction for sure he's going. Originally, he was gonna, I don't know that there's anybody internally that would want it or that could do what he's wanting. I guess it could, but.
But I'd be interested.
Oh, yeah.
Because I work at that Casey's and
Yeah, he's wanting somebody that can do all the social media and just marketing and events and, all that stuff.
Well, I worked for Red Earth for 20 years, and you familiar with Red Earth? It used to be giant. And now it's not anymore.
It's not.
I haven't been there for 4 years. It's not.
No.
Well, they built that new convention center, and Red Earth was built around the Myriad. And that new convention center didn't have an arena for a big powwow.
Right.
And you can't do a powwow in the Paycom. Number one, it's too damn expensive. And number two, you can't go down from the seats onto the floor. You are up there and you don't have access to it. And that's what all that powwow thing was about.
So what do you know about the new fairgrounds arena? Do you know anything about it?
It's going to be, a little bit. They're going to keep the old arena.
They are?
Mm-hmm. And then the new arena is going to be, I think it's going to seat like maybe 7,500 people. It's not huge, but it's going to be for smaller events and mostly for fair events or like 4-H or rodeos or livestock kind of thing. Kind of the way, the thing about the Nordic Arena right now, it doesn't meet the
ADA stuff.
do you remember it's got those real steep?
Oh.
You can hardly get up that. Well,
Yeah.
you can't push a wheelchair up that.
No, I might.
And if someone needed to get out of there, and if they were in a wheelchair, they'd just roll right
Are they
into it.
gonna fix that part? They have to, almost.
I don't know.
It'd
When
be
I was-
better to have stairs in some
When I
places.
was at Red Earth, our board chairman was Vicky Norick, and her dad was James Norick, and her brother was Ron Norick. So they, her dad and brother were both mayor. And so she knows knew a lot about all that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be it's already, construction's underway.
Yeah, we're over there a lot. My grandson wrestles, and so there's a lot of wrestling events over there.
There are.
Yeah.
It'll be perfect for that. It's gonna be real.
Yeah.
It's gonna be, from what I understand, it's gonna be real. You'll see 7,500, but it's gonna feel real intimate.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
not gonna feel like you're up in the boondocks.
Yeah. But
And
they're keeping the old one.
that's what I understand.
Huh.
Because they can use it for, livestock events, and, they have that huge, what's that huge thing in the fall that they do with all the kids, that big livestock show, I want to say International Finals Youth Rodeo, but that's Shawnee.
Mm-hmm.
They have a big livestock show that they do there. But, that's what their whole intention is, to have it be for equine and livestock and stuff like that. They got away, if you notice the fairgrounds, there aren't any areas that aren't paved anymore.
Mhm.
They don't have any park areas, no flowers, no fountains. It's all
Yeah.
show barns
Show barns and.
and exhibit
big
space.
buildings.
They got rid of the old mansion, they got rid of the monorail, they got rid of
See, the
the,
old mansion, they moved out to Nakoma Park.
They
which
did,
People
and-
bought it, and they originally were gonna either make it a museum or they were.
I've driven past it and it's just kind of sitting
Yeah,
there.
well, they let it go, they let it deteriorate, the
Isn't that
windows
so
came
sad?
out and they didn't replace them, and they just let it run.
Yeah,
It was really sad.
yeah. It's too bad. I have cousins that lived in Meeker. And so we used to go all 23rd all the way out.
Yeah,
And then my grandparents are in Shawnee, so we did a lot of stuff out in that neck of the
well,
woods.
Shawnee and Midwest City are gonna connect at some point.
No kidding.
It's getting closer.
It will. The whole area is, they call what they call it, the MSMA or the Metropolitan, whatever. And so they always include Shawnee area in that now, the statistics, and we're like 1.3 million people. It's a lot of people.
Yeah, it is.
When we moved up from the city, I was 9. It was Valentine's Day, and it was 1970. And I think Oklahoma City population was maybe 350,000.
Oh, yeah,
And now it's, 1.3 million.
yeah,
Wow.
it's gonna be, it reminds me of Dallas and
You
Denver.
have 2 people left.
Are you still employed?
Yes.
Yay.
I enjoy working with him because he is so quick and eager to respond to any inquiries I have.
Oh, yeah.
He's really fast. I mean, he even does it on the weekend. And when he was someplace for National Guard, he even did it while he was on that thing with me. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't. I got kind of a little chastised from the city manager in Nichols Hills, because you don't give me enough time. It's like, well, I'm just trying to do my job. And he kind of felt bad after that.
Oh, really?
We've all got to do our job. He's got to do his job. I got to do my job. And their meetings are on a Tuesday. Well, by the time I get the questions to him on a Wednesday, then he has Thursday and Friday to respond, because I have to have it to the paper by Monday at noon. So it can be, weekly papers are hard because you have to write the story that happened last week like it happened today, and you got to write it in case someone else has already done it, so it doesn't sound like old news.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I wrote a really, really gut-wrenching op-ed piece about Kathy Cummings.
Oh.
Were you working here when she was on?
I've met her a couple times, but no, not when she was on the council.
Hey, that art was right here.
Which one?
On the park?
Oh, thanks. Boy, I'm gonna do one on Duffner as well. And I wrote an op-ed piece about Kathy, and it made me have the biggest lump in my throat. That's just hard to believe. I haven't even had a chance to visit with Sean. I'm sure he's sick of people coming up to him.
I don't, I think he's,
I'm so surprised he's here today.
I think he, I think it's doing good. So I think it'll hit him once things slow down.
Yeah, she was lovely. She was fun on the council. She brought a bright spirit to the council.
She was a ball of energy, I know that.
Did you ever eat at her restaurant?
No.
Oh, she made you feel like you were $1 million.
Oh, really?
And then you walked in, you felt like you were the only diner in that restaurant. She pampered you, would come and visit with you and give you free samples and just lovely lady.
Very chatty.
Same thing as regular station.
I can't believe it's been a year. We have to do a story on your first year. And everything that you've accomplished, all the great things you've accomplished.
Well, it hasn't been me by myself, we got some great people, but it's been interesting. Like I mentioned, that before TIF district, named 3 of a different one.
I know, right? David are like, what? Oh, tip 1, is this tip 1 or tip 1?
We have to do a story about that bond issue and those things. I made it in journalism because there's no math required, so those things, stories make my head spin. Someone needs your help to put it in layman's terms.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Because my readers need it in layman's terms too. But
And it was good, I'm glad they did that because of the civic class and everything else going on.
look, when I came up and all the lights were on, oh my word.
Looked pretty neat this morning with snow.
Oh, I
Oh, I
bet.
bet it did.
Yeah, it's already a par. I love that idea she's doing with that poetry.
Yeah, she's like, she has to do it. I was like, this is awesome. I can't even see you just, but they didn't send it formal requirement for looks and for professional. No, that's awesome. Just do that stuff. That's great.
Yeah.
And it's neat too, you know, the afternoon, send people to pull it here, get out of the corner, go walk around.
I've seen a lot of posts on the village website, the Facebook, that group. And there's so many positive responses. People are loving that exercise equipment.
Yes.
I mean, they can't even believe it's there.
Yeah, we have a group that, they wanted to come tonight, but I put them off till next month. They're wanting to form like a nonprofit arts council for performing arts. And they're wanting to do little, like, some improv, different things at the amphitheater by the library before they start doing bigger things, but.
What a perfect place to have that. You know, Shakespeare in the Park used to be a favorite park all the time. That would be perfect for a group like that.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be fun.
Tell me your name again.
Beverly.
I was telling Beverly that the guy that got up and spoke about the veteran shelter.
Yeah, Tom.
Yeah, Tom. So I went over and got his information. I think it's going to be a fun story. It's heartwarming. If you haven't, they love heartwarming stories. The feel good stuff.
Yeah.
And he's with Phillips Murrow, which is a big law firm downtown. And when I was at Red Earth, our board president was a partner at Phillips Murrow. It's a huge firm. And he's out here working in the dog kennels with the stray dogs. That's something. What a heart. You know?
Here's a big group, and they're very passionate, and it makes it kind of tough on us, because we get people that bring pets to us. And we're like, we're not a shelter, we're an animal welfare facility. And some of them will come and let their pets out somewhere in the village, hopefully they end up there. But at the end of the day, it's not a bad thing to be.
Yeah.
Taken.
I have a good friend from my whole life. Her dad was Ernie Schultz. He did the news on Channel 4 for 25 years. But anyway, she owned a house on Winston, right across the street from Dayton Park. And she moved and got some property over by Lazy E. And she has an animal rescue. And it's for animals that have lost their home because their owners have passed away. And so she has a lot of dogs and some cats, but people find out that she's there, they dump their animals out there.
Well, a lot of the animals we pick up, it's the owners who grab a little 4x4 crate.
That's, I can't imagine people doing that with their pets.
Well, it's, I don't know. I think a lot of people have good intentions, but don't get a pet too great for a pet. You're not ready for a pet, don't get a pet.
And don't get a pet if you aren't ready to keep it for 18 years, because that's how long they'll live. You had a big packed house tonight, but they didn't wait around. But when the homeowners were on Habitat left, they don't get it. They weren't happy.
No, it's, you know, it's a challenge because they're not selfish people.
And doesn't do anything to visit first class. And doesn't do anything to visit first class. It'll be first class.
It'll be a good opportunity. And you know what, generally on a lot of these type of things, 2 or 3 years down the road, it's not.
Well, when they see what those homes look like, they'll be proud of those homes. What? Traffic in the street, give me a break. Look at Lakeside Drive, where I live.
You know, I mean, they're single family residences. Yeah, I mean, you can easily go get that same density with duplexes or quadplex, but they're single family and, you know, I think most of the people that benefit from Habitat, they can afford to pay more rent. They just have to make the best financial decisions, can't qualify for traditional
And the
financing.
people that get those
So-
Habitat homes are people that work hard for them, so
Yeah.
they have a pride in ownership.
Well, it creates economic mobility because they go from paying $2,000 rent to $1,200 a month for a mortgage, and now they can build those. It's good.
Yeah.
I said 5 minutes. I want to pack in my office like that. They might not know they get through the other side. Yeah, it's a good way to clear out the council chamber here in audience, just put.
So how do you think you're gonna like the one meeting per month deal? I hate it.
Awesome.
I love it.
Oh, yeah, it's hard for me to stretch for a month.
Well, we should have enough to keep busy with other stuff.
Well, it becomes old news after 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and I still have.
Right, well, there's a lot of nature things going on, or, maybe, you know, but it's nice because, you know, every other week you get a rhythm of, okay, it's a meeting, meeting's over, got it ready for a meeting, it's like, we're trying to get everything done.
You get your work done.
Now, it's kind of.
You know, when I first started writing for Friday back several jobs ago when I was young, in '83, Oklahoma was always at every meeting, like I was. They rarely cover, they don't cover local anything anymore. Anything. It's sad, kind of sad.
Then school boards, or you go to the Metro School Board meeting, you don't even remember the press president.
Yeah. Well, it's the community papers like Friday that are going to stick around. Because they still have readership because we cover what matters to the people in the community. You read Oklahoma and it's like reading USA Today.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not local anymore.
It used to be big.
All their sports writers left. They're all online now. They have this new online deal. I can't remember what it's called, but they're all on there now. Yeah, like the other day I got on an account of the number of ads that were 9. 9 ads. You can't have a newspaper without ads. That's where you get your money. Friday's not much better. When I worked there, when I first worked there, every week we had 36 pages minimum. Now that's 12. It's just a different day.
Yeah.
It's just a different day. You know, when I used to have student interns from UCO and OCU and OU who were majoring in journalism, PR, and that's what I did. So I'd have an intern every semester. And my first requirement was for them to read a paper every day. You can't do that anymore.
No.
Because it's changed so much now.
We haven't gotten Oklahoma I couldn't tell you, and we got it one this year just for Thanksgiving for the sales. I went
For the
to see
ad- for the
sale
ads.
And Steve went and found one, which was hard to do. And there wasn't even anything hardly in there. I'm like, I'm so disappointed.
Well, it's all on, and even more of those brick and mortar stores that aren't making it either. It's all online. I hate shopping online.
I don't like shopping online.
I hate shopping online. I can't buy clothes online because I can't. How
Right.
do you know if it fits?
Right.
Or shoes, how do you know if it's gonna fit?
I don't like it either.
So, anyway. The one, oh, so here's this. I try to listen to the videotape of your meetings. Have you listened to the sound? Listen to the
Is
sound.
it bad?
Oh, it's awful. You can't understand anything.
I don't like these microphones.
It's, the one saving grace is you can, they will let computerized type it out for you. So
Oh,
you can see what they're saying for the most part,
okay.
but you can't understand it. I can't. I don't get to go to too many of the Nichols Hills meetings because I'm usually working my other job, and so I watch theirs online.
Oh,
And it's easy to do because they don't have any interaction with anybody in the audience. And they can have a city council meeting from gavel to gavel, be less than 10 minutes. They just
business and then,
they just go through and we, all in favor say aye and aye, all opposed, and it's like, boom, next, and they're done. So you gotta go in and
dissect it a little bit.
look at all their proclamations and stuff. Yeah, I can't believe he's already been here a year, but yeah.
Mhm.
I had to go to the cardiologist this morning over at Mercy on I-35 in Edmond. So I got home and did some laundry, because Mondays are my days off, because I have my city council meetings here. Did laundry and dishwasher, and I'm gonna take a picture of this pretty Christmas cactus. Where's my phone? Couldn't find my phone anywhere. I left it at the stupid doctor's office, Mercy, over on I-35. And I couldn't call to verify I didn't have a phone. So at 4:15, I sped over there, just praying that I would get there before 5, because I knew they'd locked with it. Anyway, I got there, sure enough, they had my phone down in the basement in the office. They found it, and thank God.
Oh, wow.
I was just panicking.
Yeah, and that's sad. I hate that. I hate that feeling.
One time, I left my phone here. I got home and realized I came back, and Dave was pulling out of the driveway as I was pulling in. And I said, do you think that I've got your phone, he said. So he came in and got it and gave it to me. I'm terrible at that. I just kept it in my pocket tonight.
They've been in there an hour.
I'll run to the restroom. They'll probably get back before I get back to the restroom. Sure enough.
Uh-huh.
Exactly. That's what
He couldn't wait any longer. Yeah.
Way to go. It was very nice.
So we had 2 people stay, and they're both doing work.
Yes.
I want to see what looks like over there.
Yeah. I moved to the corner so I can see people.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Turn around. I can see people.
Well, so you gave me code last time over here.
I gave you cover? Really? Sorry.
I lost my smell on my taste, and I thought I could live like this. I cannot taste my food. And I don't know if everybody does. I'm teasing, I don't know. I wouldn't quote, we weren't even, oh, you know what, you didn't understand that.
Yes, I do.
Thank you. So I started.
So do you like your little notepad thing?
Better
Better than I have?
So,
Did you ever try it?
I got them both essentially.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back into, okay, we can do that. He'll just give you, we're back into our, meeting, and I don't have to have a, roll call. Or maybe you are.
Yeah.
Oh, we
Yeah,
got
should
a
motion to reconvene.
I'll make a
Second.
motion to reconvene the meeting. Okay.
Motion by Sonny, second by David. David?
Yay.
Melody?
Yay.
Ella?
Okay.
Yay.
Motion passed.
Sean?
John's, yeah, okay.
Where you go?
Okay, consideration of action regarding items considered in executive session.
We'll make a resolution, I'll make a motion to approve
I'll say.
what do I need to approve the executive.
To approve.
To the executive contract, so you know the contract for the terms discussed
Okay, I second it.
in the executive committee.
That's perfect.
Right.
And I second it. You can write it up.
Dave, do you want to say?
Roll call.
David?
Yay.
Melody?
Yay.
Sean?
Yeah.
Ella?
Yeah.
Sonny?
Yeah.
Motion passed.
Okay, reports, correspondence, treasurer's report, and sales tax report.
Let's probably ran for copy off the chair. Sorry, Eric, thank you for being committed to us. See how everybody else feels.
And now I need a heater.
Revenues collected thus far for general fund is $13.2 million. Expenditures are at $8.3 million. So we'll present you with the big claims list. Revenue still exceeding projected expenditures. Bank balances. The other updated, the TIF and securities was available in that report published, so we put a supplement to that. Investments in securities and our village TIF loan, and we're
Getting close.
Huh?
Getting close.
Getting close, as you can tell how progress is being done next door.
Yeah,
It's
incredible.
Sales tax is still looking favorable.
Have we had any hits at all on it?
We're staying above last year. I wouldn't really say that we've had hits, but being that some prepay for half the month, so it's, a month of sales tax, never a true actual month, but we're still, we had a rise in October, kind of in the fall, and on the path, and we're staying above.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
And,
I guess I keep expecting to see a huge hit from Tuesday morning going out, but also that's probably why they went out. They went out nationally. No, I know, they just weren't doing.
Right there. Okay, what is the 7,000 to 4,000 for this year? What is that in comparison to?
what line?
Very bad, very last line.
The total,
Yeah.
this is revenues collected to date,
And what are the others,
would be.
4 years.
Yeah, the other ones are annual.
compared to here?
So this is the first one, 2020, 21, 22, 23.
And we're in
And then the
February.
sales and use tax.
Or is this
So half
fiscal
the
year?
year done, half of the year at 4.6 compared to 9.1, so we're projected to exceed last year.
By about 200,000. Am I right?
Based on current, even based on trends of party.
Because our fiscal years, are we on the state? fiscal?
July 1st through June 30th, so we mirror the same. Manager's report, I know you guys want to sit here and listen to me talk all night, so I actually had time to type something up on Friday. Had any question on, like I said, the main challenge is the library roof, and looking at, we're gonna fund that for, engineer and architect, separate estimates came in about 420,000, so, we're gonna do a deep dive into that later this week.
So is there anything still like the old Carnegie funded all these libraries that we should look into to see if we can get some kind of grant?
I don't think there's funding for maintenance on the facility, and I think that's why MLS doesn't engage, minimizes the.
And what is that capitalized as, maintenance?
Oh,
I just want to, just so that I
I
can.
mean, I think a lot of the endowments and the grants are for programs, not just books, but other things that are
Instead of just keeping it up. The smart thing to do on that, by the way, is, it's kind of what it is, cafeterias, we did the new building. The next time someone will be on the council, that there is a big capital project or something like that, lighting one of those. For cafeterias, we built into the cost of the campaign, $1.5 million to fund the endowment specifically for the maintenance of the facility, and we can put into it. We're still covered furniture, technology, and we built that in, funded it, put it, the city might have a different mechanism you'd have to do that through, but it's something to consider.
As we move forward on our budget planning, we will have an IT department budget, with our general fund, and then we'll have facility maintenance, and we'll have some safety implications. And then four of us go to HR training tomorrow, and in the city, exciting. I don't know, Meg, so.
Who's excited?
Better than I can.
Okay, all right. These are the right people to have there.
Any questions or comments, or read at your leisure, department reports, or still recovering? I'm trying to get it more in, and like I said, trying to rotate the department heads through to get up here and get some face time with them, to talk about what we're doing. We did, Sergeant Roberto Vargas was promoted to lieutenant. Did the lieutenant exams at backfill, and he was selected for that position. And the fire department will be starting officer testing, the backfill of some of their departments. I think chiefs get close to the deputy chief selection, we'll be announcing it. And EMS report. Fire emergency responses with an average time of 11:32 with 93 transports. And again, that response time includes emergency and non-emergency.
Great job.
Jeff, leave any notes for city council?
He did not,
Okay.
but,
Uh-oh.
I have an update on the, crossings case.
Get out of your way. I'll just lay here, so.
I don't know if I want to turn this way.
Be careful.
Both, we had co-counsel with Phillips Murrah and of course Crossing as counsel with both very busy litigators, and so, it's taken a long time recording schedules, but we finally have our first two depositions of the crossing, two of the crossing representatives completed, and
You have taken your depositions?
we're taking, yes, we took their depositions, and Monty and Bruce are coming out on the 27th.
Did you communicate with him?
Yes.
Is he okay?
Yes.
Live my street.
Well, we're meeting.
But I guess
And so we'll have some more, work to do. Our trial, because of the delay in discovery, our trial moved to September. But we're all in now, moving forward.
Can't wait to hear from the sidelines, guys. It's gonna be great.
Did they come to your office?
No, we did a court reporter's office.
That's, I guess that's probably what you want.
So they were videoed and also typed.
Who was there? You and I are the co-governor.
Yes,
How did it go?
Um,
I mean, just the overall, I don't suppose we
Have
have to.
that conversation later.
Yeah, well, just for everybody, a lot of depositions, you'll get some feedback, it's very, I'm not gonna answer that question, Mr. Catfish, you know, was there any of that, or is it just pretty much normal stuff?
Mostly normal.
Mostly, okay. I'll talk to you.
Same. Okay. Anything else? Good.
All right, good.
Okay, sorry, I'll bring her up to speed on my version of that case, since I'm the one that lives on the street.
David, hit us with your thoughts.
Okay. ACOG. I think I mentioned this last time, but the House bill back in November went into effect to raise 911 charges to any device that could be calling 911 from 75 cents to $1.25. So revenues are now up. Some of the money can go back to the communities. Ours would be very big, but you guys like Warren and Midwest City, it's a big deal. So, we'll get our fair share of what's going on with that. Unless it's changed, David, you tell me, but the next generation advanced 911 system is being installed going from west to east. I think El Reno, and ours is tomorrow, February 13. The dispatchers have to be present and to learn the aspects of it. For potential calls will be covered. There won't be a lapse if somebody in the village calls 911. It kicks the Nichols Hills or something, and they get the service without knowing anything. Mark Sweeney, he made a comment. I wrote it down here. I've been looking for it, unsuccessfully. But this new system, ours was the best in the state at one time. Tulsa had it, but it could get a call that came in. They could factor down to like 1,500 yards or something like that, and where the call was made. And this system will get it down to like 8 yards. So, I mean, it's an amazing difference, and nobody else in the state has anything like this. That's a big deal for them to, they're putting it into effect right now, as I said, and I think it'll be over in a couple of months. They'll be over to the east side of Oklahoma City. National Dispatcher Week is April 14 to 20, and we ought to consider this. That's a really, really tough job. They have a hard time keeping people because you're always dealing with people's legitimate emergencies, and you don't know what the next phone call is going to be. So we should have them in to acknowledge them or something. I'm not sure. So those were the main things out. I mean, they had this last month, a few weeks ago, they call it the state legislature brunch. Because we have term limits, we continually have to educate the next group of legislators what ACOG is. And they may have heard of it, they may not have heard of it, they don't understand how the financial things come from the federal government, kind of through ACOG, or certainly for interstate highway considerations. And we've got 4 different elements, and none of them are really attached to any another one. 911 is in there, transportation costs are in there. We're the ones responsible for putting out the alerts when the air is going to be bad and stay in if you have problems and that kind of thing. We monitor the equipment. I say ACOG does, but and then our Wellington Aquifer you know, again, there's not a match of them, but each one of them has some significant importance to different park legislators. So anyway, we make those presentations, and we did it just this 2 weeks ago, Dave? Yeah. And it is kind of fun to see how the people react to, oh, I didn't know that, kind of thing. But and we have to be careful with the 911, I've said this before, because we are the Cadillac. And since the funding comes from the use of devices. Obviously, there's a lot more devices in Oklahoma City and Tulsa than anywhere else in the state. And in some rural areas, you know, like the 911 calls go to the sheriff's department. And at 3 in the morning, if the guy's there, you know, it's a real difficult situation. So understandably, the state is wanting them to improve all over the state, but that comes with the fear of they want to take it over because we've got the big pot of money. But so that's why when it comes to a certain amount, the ACOG gives the money back to the different communities so that there's never too big of a pool of money for them to be seen, thinking, licking their chops on. Plus, you know, there's a possibility that they have a board, the state legislature does now for oversight and development, if you will. And we have some people that are engaged with that group to help advise and we're limited on what ACOG can do to the counties that we're divided into. And because there's like 6 or 8 COGs, if you will, around the state, and everybody has their little territory that they don't want to give up on. But the cities can I don't know if it's Kingfish or somebody else, they left us to go to they were right on the border, and it could have been.
I know a guy who might know. I said I know a guy who might know.
Yeah. I don't know if it was Kingfisher, like it could have been, but it was a small community in that area. But on 911, there are no limitations. So like if Woodward wanted to contact 911 about could we join your system, technically there's nothing to stop them from doing that. And there's nothing that stops us from accepting them, but they're establishing what would be a reasonable, I mean, we're charged, in fact, that the price is going up this next year for our annual dues because things are going up everywhere. And for a lot of the elements going on, it's a percentage, you know, it's like 5% or something. I mean, it's not crazy. We could charge Woodward or any other city. We have to figure out a price that's reasonable because we do want them to stay in their COGS for whatever other reasons are. But it could come to a point where Oklahoma City, perhaps in partnership with Tulsa, because that would be a fight that we don't have, could end up handling the 911 system for the entire state. That's where the discussions are kind of going right now. And I'll stop at that point. Your turn.
Well, I got to attend it's called the Crowns Tea, and it was held at the Edmond Library, and it was an event put on for Black History Month, and it dealt with, there was the young lady who facilitated the tea, and it sounds very misleading because I think they got us there on the premise of having a tea and these hors d'oeuvres or whatever like that, but it was very healthy conversation being had. A very nice mixed environment of different types of people with different backgrounds, and she was an anthropologist that basically started talking about basically how we as human beings are more alike than we are different. And it was really a beautiful conversation being had because it really, there was a lot of learning going on. Because, like I said, I was sitting at the table with, probably ladies almost double my, not anymore, I can't say it, because I done got a little older. But ladies at least 20 years older than me, that didn't know half of the terminologies being used when it comes to things that are, that have drawn wedges between us that really has always been a part of our environment, but to understand how we play a part of it, a part in it, and if we ignore that it's going on, we are a part of it. And so, and it was a beautiful thing. And so, anyway, I noticed when I was there, I figured out that it was at every library except for ours. Almost, it was at the downtown library, Capitol Hill, and then Northwest, and I figured that's probably why we didn't get it, because Northwest is bigger and more, they have those larger rooms.
Yeah.
And so, because they explained to me that like 20 people RSVP'd for one of their locations, and 50 people showed up. Every time they gave us the numbers, that 20, 30 people RSVP'd, 80 people showed up. I mean, it was like over the number every time, but it was such a beautiful environment and such a beautiful opportunity. And so I wanted to share that with you all. And at that event, I did get the opportunity to meet the mayor of Edmond. He was present, and I did get a picture with him, if you'd like to see him. I did get a very nice picture with the mayor. He shared, greeted us for being there in his municipality. And it was, and like I said, it was a beautiful time. And one other thing that I do want to, along the line of business, not necessarily just something that has been done, I did want to add to my comments that I am doing the very best that I can, hopefully something, just learning the things that I need to learn in order to be able to ask what I need from each of you in your own ways. It gives me an opportunity to feel more confident. And I'll say this, which I didn't get an opportunity and didn't even think to really say it at that moment because I didn't think I should or could, but I did want to at least say on record that the reason I voted earlier the way that I did is because the residents of the village, for me, always will come first. And if they have any reason that they can justifiably state that it does not jive or does not feel right for them and their neighbors, that is what sets me straight. And so I wanted to share that part. And then the last thing I wanted to share is I wanted to give a quote. One of the things that during this time of Black History, as you all see, my shirt says, this month, our history can't be held in 1 month. It's not confined to a month. And I wanted to leave you with this quote from Shirley Chisholm. You don't make progress by standing on the sidelines, whimpering and complaining. You make progress by implementing ideas. Thank you.
Well said, thank you. I don't really have anything. For those of you that are interested, we're going to do Kathy's celebration of life literally in the new building next door. Not this coming Sunday, but the following one from about 4 to 7.
Loves?
No, the one we just.
Oh, the City Plaza?
I'm sorry, yeah.
Use the proper name, sir.
Civic Plaza.
Oh.
So, do a 1970s funk band, have some barbecue, and we're literally telling people to bring side dishes that remind them, in memory of her. So,
What date?
Challenge accepted.
The 25th.
Good luck with that. I know, it's been all night. There might be some judgment involved. There should be, yeah.
It should be.
When is this?
It's not gonna be a
Sunday, the
heavy.
25th, 4 to 7.
Thank you.
Come have fun.
Absolutely.
She would not be happy if I read a show that said.
No, she would not.
No, she would not.
I'm sorry, what time again?
4-7.
As we were talking, we were going into our session. I said, she's up in heaven right now. I'm going, Angels, get over here, we're gonna do some yoga. Get over here, we're gonna do this.
Oh, Tai Chi right after that.
Yeah.
Maybe call the fire department. Come do it. So the reason I wanted it ended at 7 is I'd like to get in the sun goes down so people can see how well lit all this is. Because it really is. I had our family drive over there to go see it, and it just, I have not seen very many things built this well. Loud really did a nice design job on this, and I hope we all know how nice this is. The guys over there really lost out doing that, the Tour de France.
Sounds like we're gonna find a way to do it after all, though, so.
I don't know, he came to me at the restaurant saying, "Hey, you still remember, we don't want to do that." And I go, "You don't want to do it. A whole bunch of your constituents came and talked to me in the meantime. They
And you know what I would tell him? I remember we said we were gonna do it, just not first.
I found it much more enjoyable to
It's
say it
the
the way I did it.
I would hold you guys accountable on that one, 'cause those two guys.
I'm good.
God, Sean just got me all riled up after getting me all this stuff about Kathy.
By the way, if I could piggyback on what he just said, I had a 9-year-old in my backseat today that thought it was pretty impressive.
Really, that's
We went to lunch
That's neat.
and got a sandwich.
Good thing to retire on, so.
Makes me happy. Yeah.
All right, clock's ticking, everybody. Be staying Alexandra if you're really good.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
You are, yeah.
I was, Dan, I want to be just like you when I grow up.
I love it. I don't really think I have anything to add other than to Sean's more condolences, and he was, I'm so grateful of us for, the city's lost a lot, but gained so much more.
Yeah.
With her legacy, and it's weird doing the celebration of life over there, because those parks for her energy, programming, all of that, and I love that.
That's beautiful.
Lost a legend, but gained fame forever, so, anyway, I mean, I'll call in with that.
I don't think I have that either. I'm really excited about Harbor Freight coming in.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it's a real big, space over there, but it really is. It's a lot more space than you think. And I just hope that, this coming up year, the next group, maybe we can all look at, our retail again and see where some of our top producers are and give them a big thank you from time to time and try to figure out a way to celebrate maybe different shopping centers, celebrate, all of the folks that are in those shopping centers, one way or another, if it's just going in and shaking their hands or say, do you have anything for us? If you ever do, just call David.
Yeah, I still have my photo from when you guys did it with the original Irish stuff.
Really?
Okay. It was, what's the former mayor's name? Chris. Bernard, because he was the one who gave it to me, yeah.
Collector's item right there.
But he had a great time while he was there.
I'm gonna stay out of this conversation.
So anyway, we got a lot to do, so we're gonna be missing you guys, I tell you what. We just break y'all in, we're gonna be just some of these. Which leads me, I'll be talking I'll be talking to Melody and be talking to you guys about how we want to fashion our mayor, vice mayor, and so on. So we can, it's just a couple months away, so we're gonna figure it out real quick. And I'll talk to you for a second. Okay, anybody else? Please say nothing, because I know you're not want us to call on you because you have so much to do, you need to get over those kids. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Dave, anything else?
Hey, better than me.
Friday Pepper, have anything? You're doing a good job over there, Joe, thank you.
I appreciate it. I wanted to go back.
At some point in time, we need to do a big spread over there about our new civic center.
You can do that 2 weeks.
Some, when you got killer space.
Right.
I could be on.
It's no big grand opening.
Congratulations, John.
No, I didn't. Less than understand the city. They're like, where's that? No, I didn't. It came out to less than $1. Where you're just kind of trying to be made, you get a months, never be just and most of the people in the council, obviously, it was depressing. I was going to be there. There were Kathy's day. Yeah, no, at least we were there. It's just a matter of us